Buy the latest song by Timcast, Coming Home. Go to getcominghome.com. Buy the song on iTunes, and with your support, we will smash those Billboard charts. From the New York Post. I don't know how much this news will matter after we actually watch the debate, but it's going to be fun before the debate. Nervous Walz, Vance prep for VP debate as both camps pray for one thing: don't screw it up. But as you were just pointing out, Tim Walz is reportedly nervous. Democrats are getting nervous, and they're trying to lower expectations as much as they can, because this is going to be bad for Tim Walz. He was just he lied about his rank.
Big time.
Yeah, big time.
Over and over and over again.
When he said he carried a weapon of war, he goes, sometimes my grammar isn't so good. No, that's not a grammar thing. But now we're finding out from a report from the Free Beacon, we got this one. Tim Walz said he was in Hong Kong during Tiananmen Square massacre. He was at home in Nebraska. He even lied about this. Here's a photo in the newspaper from May. Look at this. They said he claimed he was in Hong Kong, and they were trying to figure out whether they're going to go in when Tiananmen Square was going down. He wasn't even there.
Yeah, the report said that he didn't leave until August.
But he made sure to get married.
Same report.
We all read the same report, which is interesting. This report was fascinating to me this morning. One of the other reporters grabbed it, but they all, like CNN acknowledged this report. I mean, no one is really talking about it, but this is another time that they're going to say, oh, well, he sort of misspoke, he misrepresented. No, he is lying. He is flat out lying. And again, going back to this fact-checking moment or rule this tonight, J.D. Vance has been the attack dog here with the stolen valor stuff. I mean, right. J.D. Vance led that charge. With a lot of this stuff, it's J.D. Vance who is like, you must answer for the things that you have said. And I think Americans like that. I don't know how much of the debate needs to be spent on Tim Walz as a liar, and we can prove it consistently. But it does seem like there is a reason for Walz to be nervous that J.D. Vance does not have.
I mean, a fair bit of it might be spent on asking Tim Walz about his 30 trips to China and about the incoming reports on that.
It's not 30. He lied about that too.
Interesting.
It wasn't even 30. It was
like
they're saying now it was 15.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Hold on. I think they're lying about it being 15.
I have no idea.
So all of his lies are aligned to benefit himself in his campaign. And the scrutiny now over his connections to the Chinese Communist Party, 30 trips is suspicious. So they're going, actually, it wasn't even 30. It was actually more like 15. And it's like, Was it really? Or are you guys panicking? Because we just had Comer came out with this report saying they found internal documents that have communications about his connection. So the DHS have been communicating about his links to the CCP. And they've subpoenaed that. They want those answers. Look, this guy's praised China over and over and over again. Flew there, brought students there. He got married or
got married on the anniversary of Tiananmen Square.
Which is just weird.
And he pointed that out himself.
To do that on purpose is weird.
And he honeymooned in China afterwards.
Well, 15 or 30 times, and what's the real difference? What was he doing?
And that was while he was on like a public, like in public office on a salary of like his office at the time. It's not like he's super wealthy theoretically. And his where's that money coming from? Like, who goes on vacation to China 15 times? For personal reasons?
Right, but if you take money from the Turkish government, then you're prosecuted, as the New York mayor was. But if you go to China 15 or 30 times, then it's all good.
You just appreciate
Nobody
the
cares.
culture.
You just, it's just vacation.
Yo,
Even if you're in power.
It is wild. So this guy's nervous, and I'll tell you why. Because these stories have come out, and all J.D. Vance has to do is go, where were you in May 1989, Governor?
Yeah.
And he's going to be like, well, I don't know why the question matters. Like, tell us where you were, because I got the newspapers over here. I can point it out. Which one? Because New York Times says you were in Hong Kong, but it's a local Minnesota paper. It's Minnesota Public Radio says that you were at home. You were actually in Nebraska. So which one's true? Because we're trying to figure it out.
Yeah, and Vance is super sharp. When he was picked, I was not stoked, honestly. Like, I was not very familiar with him at all when he was picked.
No one was.
Yeah, no one was stoked.
I totally disagree.
Okay, some people were stoked, but like he has shown up and he has thrown down. Like, even as an example, the way he talked about stolen valor, it's not like he's saying anything super revolutionary, but he's just the perfect guy to talk about it because he went and he served. And when he talks about it, it's so articulate and so to the point. And I think that having seen Trump and Biden sort of like go at each other for the last like 3 years or whatever until Kamala took over, people are ready for like a younger guy that's really coherent, that's really sharp and quick, because Trump is just a different type of rhetoric, and Vance brings this like very refreshing version of that Republican Party.
Well, Vance also, he's not just like some elitist screw up. So a spoon in his mouth. He came up from the bottom.
Yeah, he's 2 years in government at this point, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And that's the thing that most Americans are familiar with. I mean, Hillbilly Elegy was not only best-selling, but then it became a movie. I mean, people know his story. even if not every political journalist followed his career that intensely, the likelihood that average Americans are aware of him in that capacity is higher than, any other politician in America who doesn't have this benefit. And I think that's to his credit, because I think he is more representational of the frustrations that Americans have with the government right now. Like, they feel trapped in the position they're in, and they want to be able to get out of it.
Yeah, it's worth noting too that like Tim Walz has also been bragging about like the number of like illegal aliens in his state and the way he treats the immigration policies, and that is backfiring super hard right now. And I think that it is going to backfire even harder as this hurricane relief plays out, because all of the relief money that is supposed to be saving Americans from this hurricane is being spent on all of these illegal aliens all across the country.
Wild.
I saw a crazy thing that was talking about like backup electricity systems, and it was saying that most of them were already sent to Ukraine, and that's why we can't get them into.
Yeah.
And I didn't have a chance to dig into that, but that was something I saw in passing.
The FCC went after Starlink and ended up cutting a ton of their capabilities. So
And now Starlink, Elon Musk is giving Starlink for free in that whole area.
Man.
I think that the better attack on Tim Walz is Tampon Tim.
I disagree.
Even the average liberal libtard, who are just like, yeah, I'm leftist, I don't like Trump, but I don't like all that gender stuff. I have a family.
Yeah, but
So if you say the Tampon Tim stuff, they're gonna say, I
don't think that's true, actually.
I completely disagree.
Yeah, I come from like Seattle, Washington area, and they actually like that kind of Democrat. They hear the Tampon Tim thing, they're like, oh, another ignorant Republican that doesn't understand.
And it's not just
they
it's
support that.
but it's not
You're
just
saying they
that.
support that?
You got to
They
understand
support
what the
that
meme conveys, right? So Tampon Tim conveys to Republicans who know the news that he put tampons in boys' bathrooms. To liberals, you're saying, I hate that he tried helping women.
Yeah, it conveys bigotry in a lot of ways.
The liberals don't know.
They support that.
So no, understand this. When the story was reported widely in the corporate press, they said Governor Tim Walz is being criticized because he was trying to provide students with feminine hygiene products. And so the implication to liberals who don't watch the news is young women were suffering, and Tim Walz said, we're going to make sure they get the stuff they need. And then Republicans attacked him for it.
Also,
not that it was going in boys' rooms. The media doesn't report that.
Yeah, they report really selectively,
yes.
and
Well,
it's
yeah, I
impossible to
understand
understand from the Republican side, because a lot of liberals, actually, like my parents, for example, they get their little slice, and they actually don't educate a lot of liberals what the actual LGBT agenda is.
No, they don't.
Yeah, a lot of them have
That's
no
what I'm saying,
idea
figure
what
it
it
out.
is.
That's what I'm saying. If Vance mentions that it's going into the boys' restrooms, even a lot of liberals will say, I don't agree with that.
Yeah, like wait, why?
Right. They'll look into it.
But,
So that's what
but
I'm saying
saying
is a good
Tampon
point.
Tim is
No, not that alone. I'm just saying, like,
Right.
that's the starting point, and then you explain what you mean by that.
I don't think you should say Tampon Tim. I think the moderates are going to be like, huh?
Yeah, there's an argument to be made for letting Trump keep the rhetoric because he's already there, and letting Vance appeal to this more moderate.
Vance needs to say, look, there's been a lot of criticisms of, when you were working in government because feminine hygiene products are being placed in the boys' bathrooms. I don't know if that's a waste of taxpayer money or what that was about, but a lot of people were upset by it. I'm wondering if you could answer what that was all about. And then let him say it. And let him say, we wanted boys to have tampons. And then you know what he does? When Tim Walz goes, look, there are transgender students and they need access to feminine hygiene products in boys' bathrooms too, and the boys' room should have the tampons. Then JD Vance can go, what?
Mm-hmm.
That's it.
Like, what are you talking about?
What?
You know, what was funny is the Canadian military put tampons in men's rooms on military bases, and the tampon dispensers kept getting vandalized and ripped off the walls.
Well, that was happening in high schools.
Yeah, well, this was happening on Canadian military bases, and so the Canadian military opened up a hate crimes investigation.
Oh, Canada, come on.
So ludicrous that they did that.
But this is why Tim Walz is probably nervous, man. Because JD Vance has probably got 100 different arguments and questions that Tim Walz will not be able to answer on that stage. And I'm going to be excited for this. But Trump had some opportunities he missed. When Trump brought up she wants transgender surgery for illegal immigrants, the response from everyone was, Trump's gone crazy. When Trump goes, they're eating the dogs, they're eating the cats, the general response that I see in the corporate press is, oh, Trump has gone crazy. What Trump should have done, and look, I know, it's my opinion, you guys can disagree, I'm just saying what I would do if I was Trump is I'd say, look, Kamala has been a disaster for this country. I was just reading CNN this morning. And what was it? They reported that the CNN's reporting, Kamala, you wanted transgender surgeries for illegal immigrants. What was that all about? Why did CNN report that? Can you guys answer that for me?
Pin it away from himself a little bit.
I'm not saying this. Why was that why would CNN report that?
I think that another aspect of what's happening tonight is Vance, actually, if he does well, he has an opportunity to recontextualize the entire first debate, especially if they do a 3-on-1 moderation thing again, because Vance can stand there and take that and be like, oh, remember the last debate when you did the same thing before? And the more that Vance can kind of like recontextualize things that happened in the first debate and give you a different closure to them, I think that he actually this debate could almost be more important than the first debate in a lot of ways, because it lasts longer if he does it right.
Let's see if JD Vance can keep a cool head and get those answers out. Yeah. Trump was poked and prodded by Kamala. She pressed his buttons and she got him. The only thing is, if her opportunity here was not to insult Trump, it was to say, here's my economic plan. Maybe she didn't have one. But I have to imagine the Democrats wanted Kamala to go in and actually boost her polls by appealing to people. And they genuinely thought the plan would be insult Trump, get him flustered, and he'll act a fool. And then you'll win. And then the end of it, people just went, yeah, we know Trump, though. He's a known quantity. And he's better on the economy. Kamala just did nothing.
Yeah, I think that this is an interesting dynamic between the two of them, because yes, they are their own separate politicians and have their own records to account for, but ultimately Vance and Walz are there to represent Trump and Harris. And because Harris never fully defined any goals for her opportunity economy or any whatever else she was vaguely promising, this is a good opportunity for Vance not only to push Tim Walz on stuff that he has said, but to say, like, why can't your campaign give us a specific goal? Yeah. What is the specific goal here? What are you looking for here? Yeah, why are you okay with this level of legal immigration? Like, there are quantities that I don't think Tim Walz is prepared to answer because he's so used to placating progressive voters.
Thanks for checking out this clip from Timcast IRL. Make sure to watch the show live Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. Subscribe to this channel, and we will see you all there.